So with your body in general, more specifically the organs, you can have deficiencies of them or excesses. And usually these will account for a lot of the illnesses or the weaknesses or any other kind of problems in your body. So let's take an example. The stomach and the digestive region will process food. So the excretory region as well. If you eat a lot of food, you're going to shit a lot. Chances are. Depending on the kind of food as well. And you're going to use the stomach. You're going to overuse the stomach. So if you're just eating and eating and eating and eating, the stomach is going to have what we think of as an excess of stomach energies, of bowel energies and such, and matters, fluids, etc. Of course, you may need to eat a lot. Maybe you need to put on some weight, or you are like a bodybuilder or whatever, and in which case you have to kind of eat. So it is just the nature of some people's lives is that they have to overuse certain organs. What happens when an organ is overused, if you're in good health, usually the organ will become stronger. If you're in bad health or you really push it too far, you will damage the organ, and you'll have what you think of as an overuse, or it can be also a deficiency. It depends on the organ. So it's kind of contradictory, actually. I'm saying excess, and actually what I mean is a deficiency. I'll give you another example. The kidneys are taxed through any kind of sexual activity, but also any kind of physical activity, like weightlifting, for example. If you work a labor, like a digging ditches kind of job, or you work a lot, kidneys are taxed. If you have a lot of sex, again, the kidneys and the genitals are taxed. So too much of all this stuff, and you can get a kidney deficiency, which basically means the kidneys need to regenerate their supply. But here's the opposite. If you do not do any of these things, if you do not stimulate the kidneys through these kinds of activities, then what you actually get is a deficiency of, well, it's more of what you would call it's like a shrinking of the organ. A weakening and a shrinking. The same way, if you do not eat food, your stomach starts to shrink. When the stomach and the digestive tract and the guts shrink, the first time you eat after that, just say if you're doing some kind of fasting, they have to reopen, and they have to get used to being used again. So if you do not use something, you will get a kind of a lacking and shrinking of that. The heart, the lungs, just say if you do not breathe much, you do not breathe properly, then your lungs will become smaller. They will shrink. If you do not use your throat to talk, your throat will become tight, and it will become inactive, and it will just atrophy. That's what we call it. It's an atrophy. So when you do not use the organs and the faculties of the body, the muscles, the anything enough, they atrophy. You can also have illnesses where atrophy is being caused even if you are using them, even if you are exercising. That's another issue, but that's another video. But if you use them too much, you get a deficiency of the energy. You use the mind too much, you think too much with the mind, the brain, or you use the emotions too much, and you're feeling too much with the heart, you will get a deficiency of the brain or deficiency of the heart, and your body has to regenerate and heal. And this is a natural process. This is what you gotta understand. This is a natural process. We do things in our day, and we use different organs and parts of our bodies, etc., different faculties, and then we regenerate them. The issue is when you can't regenerate enough for what you have spent. You talk too much and your throat hurts for like a week or something like that. You think too much and your brain is always sore, etc. And then the issue is also that you don't think at all and your brain starts to shrink and it's harder to think. So you have people who more or less walk around in a subconscious state who do not think at all, and they pretty much have the brain of like an 8-year-old. Never learned to use their brain. They never learned to, develop these parts. Maybe they never learned to develop their throat to speak. They're very bad. They don't know how to read and write. They can't speak very well, maybe. People have different issues, the eyes, atrophy of the eyes, etc. And if these areas are not stimulated, which I guess, if you had children, for example, you wouldn't want to deny them of certain things. Maybe, I remember as a child, I never got to speak. I was never invited into the conversation. And I think that was, a detriment, because when I was younger, I had trouble with language, so I wasn't able to learn it. So I think, if you've got children or even pets, you got pets or something, or plants, you can probably notice these small things in them and use it to make them more healthy. You got friends or family, whatever, you can observe them and analyze them now. So anyway, summary of the video is if you don't use your organs and stuff enough, they start to atrophy. They are full to say you do not use your emotions, your heart will be full of energy, but it'll slowly atrophy and slowly atrophy. The same way, if you use your heart too much with your emotions, it'll be empty, won't have much, it'll be depleted, emotionally depleted, but you will regenerate it. And when you regenerate it, you get better at regenerating it. So you use something to get better at using something. This is like the idea of Jupiter. You empty the pot and it'll refill quicker. If you don't use it at all, it's like wine. It'll ferment into a wine, or it'll dry out or something. I don't know. Anyway, leave it with that. Hopefully you got something from it. Of course, check the links in the description for social and commercial stuff if you're interested. Otherwise, have a nice day.